Why this interest in the bottom of the world? Nobody living down there.
I tell you one reason they're interested. It's by far the most valuable, important place left in the world for science.
Have you ever heard of Operation Highjump?
No.
Dude,
What's
it's
Operation
crazy.
Highjump? What does that mean?
You've never heard this?
No.
It's the greatest story ever, bro.
Project Highjump, also known as the United States Navy Antarctic Developments Program, 1946 to 1947, stands out as a remarkable chapter in the history of exploration, blending military precision with scientific curiosity. This operation, under the guidance of the indomitable Admiral Richard E. Byrd, was more than just an expedition. It was a groundbreaking venture into the unknown, aimed at asserting U.S. presence and prowess in the Antarctic during the tense early years of the Cold War.
So the U.S. government's like, something's going on with Antarctica. There's some activity up there. We want to find out what's going on. So they send this cat named Admiral Byrd up to investigate with a giant fleet.
At the heart of Project Highjump was the establishment of Little America 4, the latest in a series of bases that served as a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. Located strategically on the Ross Ice Shelf near the Bay of Whales, this base was not just a shelter but a fully equipped research station. With state-of-the-art labs, living quarters, and storage units all designed to endure the extreme cold, Little America 4 became the epicenter of operations facilitating groundbreaking research in meteorology, geology, and glaciology. It was from here that aerial and ground surveys were launched, significantly enhancing our understanding of Antarctic geography. But Project Highjump was as much about the people as it was about the place.
And
So,
this is where the missing 411 come from, which is all these people have mysteriously disappeared in force.
Over 4,700 military personnel underwent rigorous training to adapt to the harsh polar conditions, marking the operation as much a human endeavor as a technological one. The expedition tested the limits of cold weather gear, from specialized clothing to heating systems, ensuring the team could operate effectively in the unforgiving Antarctic environment.
There will be a number of expeditions to the bottom of the world because the government has really become interested.
The technological achievements of Highjump were nothing short of revolutionary. The operation marked the first major use of helicopters and aircraft in Antarctica, transforming the logistics of polar expeditions. This fleet of snow tractors, weasels, aircraft, and ships was not just tested, but proven in the polar climate, providing invaluable data for future operations in similar conditions. Beyond the scientific and logistical achievements, Project Highjump was a statement of geopolitical intent.
I 100% believe this is spiritual war and that these people are working with dark entities, and that's what this is all about.
In the shadow of the Cold War, establishing a U.S. presence in Antarctica was a strategic move, showcasing American capabilities and interests in this remote region. The operation navigated the complex terrain of international law and diplomacy, aiming to consolidate U.S. claims and influence in Antarctica.
I think there's low-frequency stuff going on, and they've made deals with people and things, and that's what I think's going on.
It's clear that this was no ordinary expedition. It was a bold foray into the unknown. The establishment of Little America 4 and the extensive training and testing that took place under the harsh Antarctic conditions were all steps toward a greater understanding of our planet. The legacy of Project Highjump would eventually lead to the Antarctic Treaty System. When Admiral Richard E. Byrd spearheaded Project Highjump in the mid-1940s, he wasn't just leading an expedition. He was venturing into the unknown on a scale never before seen in Antarctic exploration. This ambitious endeavor by the United States Navy was a testament to human curiosity and the drive to push beyond conventional boundaries. With over 4,700 personnel on board, ranging from naval officers to scientists and support staff, the operation was a massive undertaking that showcased the Navy's commitment to exploring and understanding the mysteries of the Antarctic continent. The fleet for this colossal mission was just as impressive, comprising 13 ships with diverse capabilities. Among them, the USS Philippine Sea stood out, not just as an aircraft carrier, but as a floating base for aerial operations that brought unprecedented mobility and reach to the expedition. This fleet, complete with icebreakers, supply ships, and destroyers, played pivotal roles, from navigating through treacherous ice to providing essential logistical support and serving as platforms for scientific research. This innovation opened new avenues for exploration and research, allowing the team to reach previously inaccessible areas. Fixed-wing aircraft were extensively used for aerial photography and mapping, covering nearly 1.5 million square kilometers of uncharted territory. This was no small feat. The aerial reconnaissance conducted during Highjump was crucial for mapping the continent's geography, studying its geology, and planning future expeditions. The resulting photographs and maps became authoritative sources of Antarctic geography for years to come. The harsh and extreme conditions of Antarctica posed significant challenges, necessitating innovative technological adaptations. Everything from vehicles to aircraft and ships was modified to withstand the polar conditions. Special insulation, heating systems, and lubricants were developed to ensure functionality in the extreme cold. These adaptations were not just crucial for the success of the expedition, they contributed to the development of technologies that would be used in cold environments worldwide. According to some, the United States Navy's expedition to the icy continent wasn't just about exploring uncharted territory. It was a covert operation to uncover something much more extraordinary: exotic technologies or evidence of ancient civilizations buried beneath the ice. The story goes a bit like this. Tucked away in the vast frozen landscapes of Antarctica, there might have been remnants of an advanced ancient civilization, or perhaps even a crashed alien spacecraft. Imagine that, hidden bases or technology from other worlds right here on Earth, lying in wait under the ice. This theory plays into the idea that such discoveries could explain the rapid technological advancements of the period. Maybe, just maybe, the team behind Project Highjump was on the brink of uncovering secrets akin to those of Atlantis or other legendary lands, secrets that could rewrite our understanding of history and science. But let's take a step back and sift through the layers of this captivating story. When we dive into the official records and facts from the expedition, a different picture emerges, one rooted firmly in the realm of scientific exploration and research. There's no denying the operation was ambitious and groundbreaking, but its achievements lie in the contributions it made to our understanding of the Antarctic region, not in unearthing ancient tech or alien relics. Now, one of the most intriguing conspiracy theories that's been swirling around for decades, the idea that Project Highjump was actually a secret mission to uncover a German base hidden deep in the icy expanses of Antarctica. It's a tale that mixes real historical events with a hefty dose of speculation, all set against the mysterious backdrop of the Antarctic wilderness. Let's start at the beginning. Back in the late 1930s, Germany did indeed embark on an expedition to Antarctica, known as the Third German Antarctic Expedition. This venture was aimed at expanding Germany's whaling capacities and staking a territorial claim for resource extraction, naming the explored area Neuschwabenland, after a region in Germany. However, despite the grand ambitions, the expedition didn't result in the establishment of a permanent base, just a fleeting brush with the icy continent. Now onto the more thrilling part of the story, the theory that the Germans conducted secret drilling operations in Antarctica. According to various speculative narratives, these operations had several possible goals: hunting for rare minerals to power their war machine, establishing a covert base under the ice, dubbed Base 2111 or New Berlin, or even seeking out ancient knowledge or alien tech hidden in the Antarctic depths. It's the stuff of science fiction with a dash of historical intrigue, but let's pause for a reality check. The technical feats required for deep drilling in the Antarctic ice are formidable, even by today's standards. Considering the technology available in the 1930s and 1940s, the idea that they could have pulled off such a feat is highly improbable. Modern ice core drilling projects, which have successfully reached great depths, rely on sophisticated equipment and logistics that simply weren't at the Germans' disposal. But as World War II came to a close, rumors started to take flight. stories began circulating about Germans fleeing and seeking refuge in a secret base in Antarctica, supposedly established in the wake of the Richter expedition. As the years went by, this theory found its way into various books, articles, and eventually online forums and documentaries, each iteration adding layers to the narrative. Speculations about the Germans developing advanced technology and weaponry in isolation, far from the prying eyes of the world, only served to deepen the mystery and allure of the story. Yet despite its captivating narrative, this theory remains just that, a theory. Graham Hancock's theories about an ancient civilization in Antarctica are quite intriguing, although they veer significantly from mainstream scientific views. He speculates that a part of this lost advanced civilization was located in what's now the icy expanse of Antarctica. This is a striking thought considering Antarctica's current freezing conditions. He links this to the hypothesis of Earth crust displacement.
The entire outer crust of the Earth, like the skin of an orange, might shift, leaving the core of the Earth in place.
This theory suggests that Antarctica wasn't always at the South Pole, but might have been in a more temperate region, allowing a civilization to thrive. However, it's crucial to note that this idea of Earth crust displacement isn't supported by the current scientific understanding of plate tectonics, which doesn't allow for such rapid and dramatic shifts of the Earth's crust. Hancock also delves into mythology, drawing connections between various global myths, legends, and religious texts. He interprets these as allegorical references to this lost civilization, particularly focusing on stories of great floods or cataclysms. He proposes that such a cataclysm, maybe a flood or a comet impact, led to the downfall of this advanced civilization.
To me, the obvious answer is we are dealing with the fingerprints of a lost civilization that mapped the world and that left evidence of that mapping.
According to his theory, survivors of this catastrophe might have traveled the world, spreading their advanced knowledge, significantly influencing the development of later civilizations like the Egyptians and Sumerians. One of the more fascinating aspects of his theory is how he points out the similarities in architectural structures and astronomical alignments at various ancient sites. He sees these as potential evidence of a shared origin of knowledge, suggesting that this knowledge could have been passed down from the earlier civilization. Hancock believes that this civilization's legacy includes not just advanced architectural techniques and astronomical observations, but potentially other lost technologies and wisdom.
The date that Göbekli Tepe in Turkey is built, 11,600 years ago. That, weirdly, is the date that Plato's Timaeus and Critias gives for the submergence of Atlantis.
While his ideas certainly capture the imagination, it's important to remember that they are viewed with skepticism by the scientific community. Antarctica during the Eocene epoch was a completely different world from what we know today. It was actually positioned over the South Pole, just like it is now. But the climate back then was way warmer, allowing for a whole different kind of environment. This was a time when the continents were still shifting around after the breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea. So Antarctica, which was part of what we call Gondwana, was slowly moving to where it sits now, all isolated at the bottom of the world. This shifting around of continents, like Australia and South America moving away, played a big role in changing ocean currents and the climate. One of the most striking things about Antarctica back then was that it didn't have the massive ice sheet it has today. This absence of ice was mainly because of the much warmer global temperatures at the time. This had a big knock-on effect on the planet's climate, as the reflective ice that sends solar radiation back into space wasn't there, adding to the overall warmth. The tectonic movements during the Eocene were also pretty significant. The breakup of Gondwana was a major event reshaping the layout of the Earth's land and water. A key moment was the opening of the Drake Passage, the stretch of water between Antarctica and South America. This opening was a game-changer because it led to the creation of the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, which is a massive ocean current that goes around Antarctica. This current had a huge impact on the climate. It kind of put Antarctica in a climatic bubble, circulating cold water around it and stopping the warmer waters from the north from getting through. This is believed to have played a big part in cooling down Antarctica and leading to the ice-covered continent we know today. As for what life was like back then, the fossil records are really fascinating. They show that Antarctica supported a diverse range of plants and even animals. We're talking about temperate to subtropical forests with beeches, conifers, and ferns. Imagine that in place of today's icy desert. These fossils tell us the climate was much warmer and humid, and then there's the sea level, which was way higher than what we see now because there weren't those big ice caps locking up all that water.
This is how do you know that sea level rose? There are certain corals that can only exist within a certain number of feet of the sea's surface.
This meant that the coastline and the shape of the land were quite different, and some places that are land now were underwater back then. The warmer temperatures and higher sea levels would have made the marine life around Antarctica rich and diverse, very different from what's there now. The Eocene epoch, which lasted from about 56 to 34 million years ago, was a really interesting time in Earth's history. It was part of this bigger period called the Paleogene period, and it's a part of what scientists call the Cenozoic era. This era is often nicknamed the Age of Mammals because it's when mammals started to diversify a lot, especially after the dinosaurs had their big exit at the end of the Cretaceous period. During the Eocene, the world's continents were on the move, drifting towards where they are now. This movement was a big deal because it changed how ocean currents flowed and affected the climate in a bunch of ways. Now, one of the most dramatic things about the Eocene was this event called the Paleocene-Eocene thermal maximum. This happened around 56 million years ago, and it was a time when the Earth got really warm, really fast. Temperatures shot up by 5 to 8 degrees Celsius in just a few thousand years. Scientists think this might have been because of a ton of methane being released from the ocean floor. This warming had a huge impact on life on Earth. In the oceans, some species went extinct, while on land, mammals started to evolve and diversify like crazy. The levels of CO2 in the atmosphere were also way higher than what we have today. Estimates say it was between 1,000 to 2,000 parts per million, which is a lot compared to the pre-industrial level of about 280 ppm. This high level of CO2 came from things like volcanic activity, burning of organic matter, and because natural carbon sinks weren't as effective. One of the big differences between the Eocene and now was that there were no major ice sheets at the poles. This is really different from today, where we've got big ice caps in both the Arctic and Antarctic. Because the Earth was so much warmer, the temperature difference between the equator and the poles wasn't as extreme as it is now. As a result, the polar regions were much warmer than they are today. And because there was less ice, sea levels were higher. This means a lot of water that's currently frozen in ice was in the ocean back then. This affected marine life a lot, changing where different species lived and leading to the development of new types of marine ecosystems.
One of the things I find most striking is the presence of Antarctica on ancient maps, because we didn't discover it until 1820.
Now, Graham has a really fascinating theory about an ancient advanced civilization that he believes existed long before the civilizations we commonly recognize, like the Sumerians of Mesopotamia. His idea pushes the timeline of advanced human societies back tens of thousands of years, possibly even to the last ice age. This is a huge leap from the established historical understanding, which generally sees complex societies and civilizations emerging more recently. Hancock points to the incredible architectural feats of ancient megalithic structures like those at Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, Stonehenge in England, and various sites in Egypt and Mesoamerica. He sees these as evidence of a highly advanced architectural knowledge. Moreover, he talks about the astronomical precision of these structures. For instance, how the Great Pyramids of Giza align with the stars of Orion's belt, or how Stonehenge aligns with the solstices and equinoxes. These aren't just random placements. They suggest a deep understanding of the stars and seasons. He also believes this civilization had impressive navigational skills, which might explain how similar architectural and astronomical concepts appeared across different continents. But it's not just about the buildings and their alignments with celestial events. Hancock thinks these ancient monuments reflect a comprehensive knowledge of astronomy that was integrated into the culture and religious practices of the time. He also suggests evidence of sophisticated urban planning in ancient ruins, indicating a level of societal organization and city-building knowledge that's not typically credited to prehistoric societies. Then there's the idea of a global spread of knowledge. Hancock theorizes that the similarities in architectural styles and astronomical knowledge across various ancient cultures around the world point to a common, advanced source of knowledge. This knowledge could have been spread by the survivors of this ancient society. Graham Hancock's theory really takes a global perspective when it comes to the influence of this ancient, advanced civilization he proposes. He thinks that this civilization had a major impact all over the world. It's not just a localized phenomenon, but something that reached across continents. According to him, we can see traces of this civilization in the myths, architectural designs, and astronomical knowledge of many different ancient cultures. He's suggesting that there's a kind of cultural diffusion that took place from this lost civilization to later societies. So when we see similar styles in buildings or common themes in religious beliefs and astronomical practices across various ancient cultures, he interprets this as evidence of their influence. He goes further to speculate that after some huge disaster that brought this civilization down, the survivors might have spread out to different areas of the world. These survivors, he believes, were the ones who passed on their advanced knowledge, and this played a crucial role in the development of the civilizations we know about from history, like the Egyptians and Sumerians. Now, when it comes to evidence, Hancock looks at archaeological sites and findings that he feels mainstream archaeology hasn't been able to fully explain. He talks about structures that, to him, seem like they needed pretty advanced engineering or astronomical know-how to build. He also dives into ancient texts and myths, interpreting them not just as stories or legends, but as allegorical records of real historical events. Think of tales about great floods or lost lands like Atlantis. Hancock sees these as collective memories of the lost civilization. He also notes that there are these cross-cultural similarities, like how myths from different parts of the world seem to share common themes, or how architectural styles and astronomical knowledge seem to echo each other even across cultures that supposedly never interacted. Now, Antarctica might be the last place you would think of when it comes to ancient civilizations. After all, it's the coldest, windiest, and driest continent, a harsh landscape covered in ice up to a mile thick. It's seemingly inhospitable, an icy wilderness that is the definition of desolation. And yet, what if I told you that this freezing wasteland may have once been a bustling hub of ancient activity? Through the ages, Antarctica has been subject to a variety of hypotheses and theories. It has always been a source of mystery, partly due to its inaccessibility and the harsh conditions that make exploration a formidable challenge. Some theories suggest that this continent, now hidden beneath miles of ice, was once home to ancient civilizations that we can hardly imagine. These theories often hinge on controversial interpretations of satellite imagery, ancient maps, and unique structures spotted under the ice, suggesting human or perhaps even non-human activity. One of the most famous pieces of evidence is the Piri Reis map, a pre-modern world map compiled in 1513 by the Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis. Part of this map shows the northern part of Antarctica, ice-free, which has led to speculations about ancient maritime civilizations with advanced geographical knowledge. Critics, however, argue that the map is a compilation of multiple sources, some of which may have been flawed. Satellite imagery of Antarctica has also led to intrigue and speculation. In 2006, Google Earth users spotted a formation in Antarctica that looked uncannily like a face, leading to suggestions of a lost civilization. Scientists, however, think that this is a natural phenomenon known as pareidolia, where the mind perceives a familiar pattern where none actually exists. The most provocative theories suggest that ancient alien civilizations could have once made their home on the icy continent, pointing towards supposed pyramid-like structures visible beneath the ice, though these claims are yet to find any substantial scientific backing. So, what is the truth? Is it possible that an ancient civilization could have once existed in this inhospitable landscape? Or are these theories the products of overactive imaginations and misinterpreted data? It's time for us to embark on a journey of exploration and discovery into the icy depths of Antarctica. We're all familiar with the mysteries of the ancient world, but Antarctica's mysteries are, well, colder and much more unusual. There are theories that take our understanding of ancient civilizations and flip it on its head, painting a picture of a past that is both startling and thought-provoking. Let's delve into some of these unconventional theories, each with its unique blend of mystery, speculation, and a dash of audaciousness. The first, and perhaps the most known, is the hypothesis that Antarctica is the lost continent of Atlantis. Proponents of this theory suggest that around 12,000 years ago, the entire continent was shifted from a temperate zone to the South Pole due to Earth's crust displacement, a controversial idea put forward by Charles Hapgood in the 1950s. This cataclysmic event, they suggest, froze the sophisticated Atlantean civilization in a matter of days, preserving it beneath the ice. But what about those pyramid-like structures I mentioned earlier? Some theorize that these are remnants of this ancient civilization. These structures, visible via satellite, bear an uncanny resemblance to the pyramids of Egypt and Central America. However, most scientists argue that these pyramid-like formations are likely the result of natural erosion and wind patterns unique to Antarctica. And then there's the theory of an ancient extraterrestrial outpost in Antarctica. It's been suggested that some of the unusual formations and anomalies found on the continent may be the remains of alien technology or structures. Proponents of this idea often cite supposed UFO sightings and unexplained phenomena in the region. But again, these claims have not found widespread acceptance in the scientific community. And let's not forget the speculation surrounding ancient maps, like the Piri Reis and Orontius Phineas maps, which seem to depict the Antarctic coastline free of ice, suggesting that the cartographers had knowledge of the continent long before it was officially discovered. Skeptics, however, argue that these maps are based on guesswork and mistaken interpretations of other landmasses. The Piri Reis map has long been a subject of fascination among historians, cartographers, and conspiracy theorists alike. Drawn in 1513 by Ottoman admiral and cartographer Piri Reis, this map illustrates parts of Europe, Africa, and the Americas with surprising accuracy for the time. But the intrigue doesn't stop there. The southernmost portion of the map seems to depict the northern coastline of Antarctica, a landmass not officially discovered until 1820. But how is that possible? Some proponents of unconventional theories suggest that the map is evidence of an advanced ancient civilization that had detailed geographical knowledge long before modern science. They argue that the Piri Reis map, along with other similar cartographic anomalies, proves that ancient mariners must have charted the Antarctic coast when it was free of ice, a situation that hasn't existed for over 34,000 years according to current scientific understanding. The details of the Piri Reis map are remarkable. It is said to include mountain ranges that were not discovered until the advent of modern seismic surveys, and even features a detailed depiction of the Andean Range in South America, which is surprisingly accurate for a 16th century map. However, skeptics caution against reading too much into these observations. They argue that the map's supposed depiction of Antarctica could be based on a misunderstanding of the South American coastline. As for the extraordinary detail, they suggest that this could be the result of synthesis from a variety of sources, some of which may have contained errors or embellishments. Despite the debate, one fact remains. The Piri Reis map is an extraordinary piece of historical cartography. It offers a glimpse into the knowledge and skill of early 16th century navigators and the seafaring cultures that produced them. And although the debate around the Piri Reis map and its implications for our understanding of ancient civilizations will likely continue, it undeniably continues to add a layer of mystery to that is Antarctica. As we continue to dig deeper into our past, we are left pondering, what else is waiting to be discovered? As you might expect, the scientific community's perspective on the possibility of ancient civilizations in Antarctica is rooted in a careful analysis of available evidence and our current understanding of geology, climate history, and human development. Firstly, Antarctica is and has been for millions of years the coldest, driest, and windiest continent, with temperatures that can drop below -80 degrees Celsius. Surviving in such conditions would be a monumental challenge for any civilization, ancient or modern. Thus, the idea of a long-lost society thriving in this frozen landscape seems unlikely. In terms of geology and climate history, our current understanding tells us that Antarctica has been covered in ice for about 34 million years. This was confirmed by ice cores drilled deep into the Antarctic ice sheet, which provide a record of past climates. This leads us to question, if Antarctica has been an icy wasteland for millions of years, how could an ancient civilization have existed there? Furthermore, the timeline of human evolution and migration also complicates the idea of an ancient Antarctic civilization. Modern humans are believed to have emerged around 300,000 years ago, and our ancestors began to migrate out of Africa about 70,000 years ago. But even if they could have reached Antarctica, the extreme conditions would have made survival virtually impossible. That said, the scientific community is not dismissive of all unconventional ideas. The Piri Reis map, for instance, does raise interesting questions about the knowledge of ancient seafarers. However, rather than attributing this to a lost civilization, most scientists would likely view it as a testament to the skill and knowledge of the historical societies that we already know about. Let's delve into the realm of the deepest human-made hole and consider the climatic history of Antarctica. The title for the deepest humans have drilled into the Earth goes to the Kola Super Deep Borehole, located in Russia. This ambitious drilling project reached a staggering depth of about 7.5 miles or 12 kilometers before it was stopped in the early 1990s. Even this depth, however, is still less than 0.2% of the Earth's total radius. As for Antarctica, deep ice cores have been drilled, but these extend only a few kilometers down, providing a record of hundreds of thousands of years of Earth's climate history. This brings us to the climatic past of Antarctica. According to geologists, Antarctica has not always been the frozen land we know today. The continent was once part of the supercontinent Gondwana, which existed in the southern hemisphere millions of years ago. Fossil records indicate that Gondwana was home to a variety of plant and animal life, suggesting a much warmer climate. Around 180 million years ago, Gondwana started to break apart. Antarctica slowly moved to its present location over the South Pole, and by about 34 million years ago, the continent was rapidly cooling. This cooling trend culminated in the formation of a permanent ice sheet. However, while there were fluctuations in the extent of the ice cover due to global climate cycles, Antarctica has been largely icy for millions of years. There are indeed hypotheses suggesting that parts of Antarctica could have been ice-free and warmer during certain periods due to factors like geothermal heat and changes in Earth's orbit. However, these periods likely occurred millions of years ago, well before humans existed. Thus, while Antarctica may have once been a warmer, hospitable place, this would have been in a geological era far removed from the advent of human civilization. Antarctica, the most mysterious and untouched continent on Earth, has long held secrets beneath its thick layers of ice. Recent discoveries have ignited imaginations worldwide, with rumors of ancient civilizations and even extinct human species perfectly preserved in the icy wilderness. In the stark white expanse of Antarctica, a shocking splash of crimson stands out against the Taylor Glacier, known as Blood Falls. Discovered in 1911 by Australian geologist Griffith Taylor during the British Antarctic expedition led by Robert Falcon Scott, this bizarre natural phenomenon immediately puzzled scientists. The sight of blood-red water flowing from the glacier's terminus was initially thought to be caused by algae, but further investigation revealed a far more complex and ancient story. The Blood Falls caves are not typical open-air caves, but rather a network of subglacial channels and cavities filled with iron-rich brine. These channels, estimated to be over 1.5 million years old, are among the oldest known systems of their kind on Earth. The water that seeps from these caves has been trapped and isolated from the Earth's atmosphere for millions of years. The vivid red hue that gives Blood Falls its name is due to the iron in the water oxidizing when it makes contact with air, a process akin to rusting. This discovery has provided scientists with a unique window into ancient environmental conditions and the extreme forms of life that can thrive in such harsh environments. The true nature of Blood Falls remained elusive until the late 20th and early 21st centuries, when advancements in scientific technology allowed for a deeper exploration of the subglacial environment. In 2009, a pivotal breakthrough was made by a team led by Jill McCookie, a Harvard University microbiologist. Utilizing sophisticated imaging and sampling techniques, the team drilled through the ice to access the brine. What they found was nothing short of extraordinary, a complex ecosystem of extremophiles, microorganisms thriving in extreme conditions, surviving by metabolizing iron and sulfur compounds in the oxygen-starved, icy waters. The discovery of this ancient ecosystem is groundbreaking, as it potentially offers a glimpse into what life on Earth may have looked like millions of years ago. The microorganisms found in the Blood Falls caves are ancient and have evolved in isolation, surviving in complete darkness, with no sunlight and minimal nutrients. This discovery has vast implications, particularly for astrobiology. as it suggests that similar life forms could exist in the icy moons of our solar system, such as Europa or Enceladus. The brine's red color resulting from iron oxidation also indicates that these subglacial waters are rich in chemical energy, enough to sustain life in one of the harshest environments on the planet. The exact size of the Bloodfalls caves and channels is difficult to determine due to their subglacial nature and inaccessibility. However, the visible portion of Bloodfalls, where the red water emerges, is about 30 feet high, roughly the height of a 3-story building. This is just the tip of the iceberg, literally, suggesting that the channels and caves beneath the ice could extend for miles, forming a vast, ancient network that remains largely unexplored. Transitioning from the isolated iron-rich brine of Bloodfalls, we move to another extraordinary Antarctic cave, Leviathan Cave, a place steeped in both mystery and danger. Tucked away near the Shackleton Range in Antarctica, Leviathan Cave is a testament to the untamed and mysterious nature of the continent. Its name, inspired by the biblical sea monster Leviathan, is fitting given the cave's imposing and enigmatic presence. The exact details surrounding its discovery are somewhat murky, as many early Antarctic expeditions were poorly documented, but it is believed to have been first explored in the 1970s by a team of geologists and explorers surveying the Shackleton Range. Leviathan Cave stands out due to its intricate ice formations and its location in one of the most remote and inhospitable regions on Earth. Unlike the subglacial Bloodfalls caves, Leviathan Cave is part of a larger system of ice caves and tunnels that remain largely unexplored. Scientists estimate that this cave system is several 100,000 years old, formed by the slow, relentless movement of ice over millennia. The age of the cave was determined through a combination of geological surveys and ice core sampling, revealing its long history and the processes that have shaped it. The exploration of Leviathan Cave was part of a broader effort to understand the ice dynamics in the Shackleton Range. The team of explorers who stumbled upon it were captivated by the cave's stunning and unique ice formations. These include massive stalactites and stalagmites made entirely of ice, formed by the slow freezing of water droplets in the cave's frigid environment. The intricate patterns and sheer size of these formations give the cave an almost cathedral-like appearance, inspiring awe and reverence among those who have seen them. Leviathan Cave is renowned for these ice formations, which are unlike anything found elsewhere in Antarctica. The conditions within the cave are so extreme that the water droplets suspended in the air slowly freeze over centuries, building up to form massive icicles that hang from the ceiling and rise from the floor. The cave's remote location, deep within the Shackleton Range, makes it one of the most inaccessible and least explored caves in the world. This isolation has preserved its pristine environment, making it a prime location for future scientific discoveries. Researchers believe that studying Leviathan Cave could provide valuable insights into the geological history of Antarctica and the processes that have shaped its landscape. Leviathan Cave is a large and expansive system, though its full extent remains unknown due to the challenges of exploration. Some estimates suggest that the cave could extend for several miles beneath the ice, making it one of the largest ice caves in Antarctica. To put its size into perspective, the cave could be likened to a vast underground cathedral, with towering ice columns and chambers large enough to hold entire buildings. This comparison underscores the sheer scale and majesty of Leviathan Cave, a place where nature's artistry is on full display. As we leave behind the majestic frozen chambers of Leviathan Cave, our journey through Antarctica's most mysterious caves takes us to the depths of Lake Vostok, a place where science and speculation intertwine. Subglacial Lake Vostok is perhaps one of the most enigmatic and significant discoveries in Antarctica. Buried under nearly 2.5 miles of ice, this ancient lake has captured the imagination of scientists and explorers alike. Its existence was first detected in the 1970s by Soviet scientists conducting radar surveys of the Antarctic ice sheet. However, it wasn't until the 1990s that the true nature of Lake Vostok and its associated caves became clear, revealing a hidden world beneath the ice. The discovery of Lake Vostok and its subglacial caves was a major scientific breakthrough, This lake is the largest of Antarctica's known subglacial lakes, and the caves and channels connected to it form a vast interconnected system beneath the ice. These caves are filled with water that has been isolated from the surface for millions of years, creating an environment that is both unique and pristine. The lake itself is believed to be between 15 and 25 million years old, making it one of the oldest and most stable bodies of water on Earth. Lake Vostok was first identified as a large subglacial lake by Russian scientists during radar surveys in the 1970s, but its significance wasn't fully understood until the 1990s, when more advanced technologies confirmed the existence of a vast liquid lake beneath the ice. The exploration of Lake Vostok and its caves has been one of the most challenging scientific endeavors in recent history. The immense depth of the ice, combined with the need to avoid contaminating the pristine environment, has required the development of new drilling technologies and remote sensing techniques. The water in Lake Vostok and its connected caves has been isolated from the atmosphere for millions of years, creating an environment that is like no other on Earth. This isolation has led scientists to speculate that the caves could harbor entirely new forms of life, possibly unlike anything known to science. The discovery of ancient microorganisms in this environment could offer insights into how life might survive in extreme conditions, both on Earth and potentially on other planets. The scientific and logistical challenges of drilling into Lake Vostok and its caves have been immense, but the potential rewards are equally great, offering a glimpse into a world that has remained untouched for millions of years.
Do you know that Antarctica wasn't always the ice-laden landscape we see today? Indeed, there was a time when this now frigid continent was teeming with life, and yes, that includes dinosaurs. Millions of years ago, during the Mesozoic era, Antarctica was part of the supercontinent known as Gondwana, alongside what are now South America, Africa, India, and Australia. During this time, Antarctica was a lush forested region filled with a diverse array of prehistoric animals, including dinosaurs. The discovery of the first dinosaur remains in Antarctica was made on James Ross Island in 1986. These were the bones of the Antarctic Cryolophosaurus, a large theropod dinosaur that lived during the early Jurassic period. This predator, whose name means frozen crested lizard, could grow up to 6.5 meters long. Then there was the Antarctic hadrosaur, a herbivorous dinosaur discovered in the late Cretaceous deposits of the James Ross Basin. The discovery of the hadrosaur remains in 1998 was significant, as it suggested that these animals could have lived in polar regions year-round, enduring months of winter darkness and likely cold conditions. A more recent discovery in 2016 was the first ever fossilized dinosaur feathers in the southern hemisphere, found on Vega Island in Antarctica. This finding further reinforced the fact that a diverse range of dinosaurs once roamed this now icy landscape. The discoveries of these dinosaur remains, along with many other species of prehistoric plants and animals, has provided scientists with invaluable information about life on Earth during the Mesozoic era, and about the drastic climatic changes that have occurred on our planet over millions of years. Let's plunge into the depths of the Antarctic waters for a moment. This icy frontier is home to a surprisingly diverse array of life, many of which seem almost alien in their adaptations to this frigid environment. But among these organisms, the ones that truly catch our attention are the sea creatures from the distant past. Frozen in the Antarctic ice, we have found evidence of creatures that no longer roam our seas. These fossils tell a fascinating story about the Earth's past and the life that once thrived here. Among these discoveries are remnants of long-extinct marine creatures, each offering a tantalizing glimpse into the prehistoric world. One notable find is the colossal carnivorous sea spider Colossendes, a genus that was once much larger than their present-day counterparts. An ancestor of this massive spider was discovered in Antarctica, its body reaching a staggering 90 centimeters across, making it one of the most massive sea spiders to ever exist. To put this into perspective, the largest sea spiders today only reach a span of about 70 centimeters. Then there are the ichthyosaurs, marine reptiles that roamed the oceans during the era of the dinosaurs. Fossil remnants of these aquatic beasts have been found in the Antarctic, including an impressive specimen that measured a whopping 5 meters long. Finally, we can't forget about the numerous varieties of ancient fish that once swam in these icy waters. Among the most impressive are the Devonian-aged armored fish, whose fossilized remains give us a fascinating insight into the Earth's early marine ecosystems. These discoveries are not just relics from the past. They provide valuable information about the Earth's prehistoric climates, helping scientists model and predict the planet's future in the face of modern climate change. Life in the Antarctic may seem limited to a handful of specialized species, but as these ancient marine fossils reveal, this desolate landscape was once teeming with life in its most exotic forms. Let's journey from the past to the realm of speculative science fiction, or perhaps not so speculative after all. For years, rumors and conjecture have circulated about the possible existence of extraterrestrial technology hidden deep beneath the Antarctic ice. For many, these tales are the stuff of science fiction. But what if there's more to the story? Researchers from various fields have noted some highly unusual findings in Antarctica, which could imply the presence of something not of this Earth. Satellite images have revealed peculiar anomalies under the ice, structures that seem too precise and symmetrical to be naturally occurring. More intriguing still are the eyewitness testimonies from military personnel and researchers who claim to have seen unidentified flying objects, UFOs, in the area. These testimonies often coincide with instances of unexplained equipment malfunctions and missing time, phenomena often associated with UFO encounters. Even more tantalizing are stories about Operation Highjump, a post-World War II United States Navy operation in Antarctica. Some conspiracy theorists suggest that the real purpose of this operation was to find and possibly engage with extraterrestrial technology hidden under the ice. These theories gained additional traction with the release of declassified FBI documents in which an informant reported about flying saucers recovered in New Mexico. These saucers were described as being equipped with radiant energy devices, which aligns with Bob Lazar's claims about recovered extraterrestrial technology. Could a similar recovery operation have occurred in the Antarctic? Let's turn our attention to a creature that's synonymous with the Ice Age, the woolly mammoth. Now, you might think these gigantic furry beasts were exclusive to the northern climes of Siberia and North America, but prepare to be surprised. Scientists have found evidence of what appear to be the woolly mammoth's distant relatives in the southernmost part of the world, Antarctica. This comes as a shock to many, as the image of these mammoth beasts lumbering through a snow-blanketed landscape is so ingrained in our minds. Yet here's where it gets fascinating. Around 40 million years ago, during the Eocene epoch, the climate was much warmer than it is today. There were no polar ice caps, and instead of icy deserts, these regions were covered with forests. This warmer climate would have provided pathways for these giant beasts to traverse the globe, including what we now know as Antarctica. Fossils uncovered in this icy desert have given scientists reason to believe that a mammoth-like creature once roamed here. These include fossilized teeth and bone fragments that bear a striking similarity to those of the woolly mammoth. But here's the twist. These Antarctic mammoths would have been isolated from their northern cousins for millions of years. In this icy environment, they could have evolved different adaptations, possibly becoming a unique species entirely. It's like a woolly mammoth, but not as we know it. This extraordinary find rewrites what we know about these fascinating creatures and demonstrates that even in the harshest environments, life finds a way. The Antarctic woolly mammoth reminds us that Earth's past was a vastly different world, holding secrets we're only beginning to uncover. Let's shift our focus from the gigantic to the canine. In the white wilderness of Antarctica, remnants of an extinct wolf species have been discovered, named the Antarctic wolf. This discovery is both curious and confounding. Why, you might ask? Well, because Antarctica is not known to have ever been a habitat for large mammals, especially not during the era this wolf is believed to have lived. The Antarctic wolf is a relatively recent discovery, found in the mid-20th century by a team of explorers. The specimens discovered were well preserved in the East, a canine time capsule providing a fascinating snapshot of life in the Pleistocene era. They're thought to have been about the size of a modern grey wolf, with a powerful build adapted for survival in harsh conditions. But what was a wolf doing in Antarctica, a land of perpetual ice and snow? It's believed that this wolf species migrated to the continent during a period of lower sea levels, possibly during an ice age when Antarctica was connected to South America via a land bridge. They would have hunted the prehistoric herbivores of the time, much like their counterparts in other parts of the world. The real question is how they managed to survive in such an inhospitable environment. Were they adapted to withstand the extreme cold? Or did they have a particularly thick coat or a specialized diet? The answers to these questions remain a mystery, but with each new find, we're able to piece together a more complete picture of this lost species and its life in the Antarctic wilderness. Ultimately, the discovery of the Antarctic wolf demonstrates the resilience of life, its ability to adapt and thrive in even the most challenging of environments. And just like the other frozen relics we've discussed, it offers a tantalizing glimpse into the rich tapestry of life that once existed in the frozen heart of Antarctica. Marsupials, those fascinating creatures we often associate with Australia's outback, have also made an unexpected appearance in the most unlikely of places, Antarctica. And I'm not just talking about a single species. Several extinct marsupial species related to modern-day wombats and kangaroos have been found preserved in Antarctica's ice. These discoveries were made in the late 1980s and early 1990s, when a team of paleontologists stumbled upon fossilized remains of marsupials in the Transantarctic mountains. The remains were of a species named Antarctodolops dalei. But how did marsupials, more commonly associated with warmer climates, end up in the deep freeze of Antarctica? One theory proposes that during the time these marsupials lived, roughly 40 million years ago, Antarctica had a much warmer climate. It was a time when Antarctica was still attached to Australia as part of the supercontinent Gondwana, and it was covered in lush forests, making it a paradise for marsupials. As the continents drifted apart and Antarctica moved towards the South Pole, the climate changed dramatically. It became colder and eventually turned into the icy desert we know today. But before this drastic climate change, marsupials thrived, grazing on the verdant vegetation and avoiding predators. Discoveries like these are crucial in understanding the history of life on Earth. They highlight how our planet has changed over time, shaping the evolution and distribution of species. The Antarctic marsupials offer a unique perspective on how creatures adapt to their environment and the impact of climate and geographical shifts on biodiversity. It's fascinating, isn't it? How a place we associate with extreme cold and barren landscapes was once home to these diverse and complex organisms. And there you have it. From ancient marsupials that call into question our understanding of historical climates to tantalizing hints of alien mysteries, Antarctica is more than just a frozen wasteland. It's a time capsule, a treasure trove of natural history, and possibly even a beacon for life beyond our own planet. As we continue to explore and learn more about this vast, icy desert, we discover that our planet is even more fascinating and complex than we could have ever imagined.
We're going to explore a theory, the Earth crust displacement hypothesis. Charles Hapgood, in his 1958 book, The Earth's Shifting Crust, proposed that the Earth's entire lithosphere can, at times, shift dramatically. Imagine the skin of an orange sliding independently of the core. Hapgood, referencing the work of geologist Hugh Auchincloss-Brown, suggested this could have placed Antarctica outside the polar region, allowing it to flourish even during the last ice age. Now, mainstream geology largely dismisses this. Plate tectonics, as we understand it, doesn't support such rapid, massive shifts. However, this was the same argument presented to a young Albert Einstein, who was intrigued by Hapgood's research and even wrote the foreword for his book, stating, "I frequently receive communications from people who wish to consult me concerning their unpublished ideas. It goes without saying that these ideas are very seldom possessed of scientific validity. The very first communication, however, that I received from Mr. Hapgood electrified me. Let's not dismiss this outright. Let's delve into the supporting evidence, however circumstantial it may be. Consider the ancient myths and legends found across cultures worldwide. The Epic of Gilgamesh from ancient Mesopotamia describes a catastrophic flood. The Anunnaki lifted up the torches, setting the land ablaze with their glare. Ninurta went forth and made the dikes overflow. Similar flood narratives exist in the Bible, in Hindu texts, and in the legends of indigenous peoples across the Americas. Are these merely stories or echoes of a real event, a cataclysm that wiped out a lost civilization, perhaps one that thrived in a temperate Antarctica? Hapgood believed that the survivors of this cataclysm may have dispersed across the globe, carrying their advanced knowledge with them. We know that sea levels rose drastically at the end of the last ice age, inundating vast coastal areas. The Piri Reis map, drawn in 1513 but allegedly based on far older source maps, depicts the coastline of Antarctica without ice. How could a 16th century mapmaker know this detail unless he had access to ancient knowledge that predates the supposed discovery of Antarctica by hundreds, even thousands of years? Let's look at the potential influence of this lost civilization. Consider the similarities between ancient Egypt and Sumeria, their pyramids, their advanced understanding of astronomy, their complex writing systems. Could these seemingly disparate cultures have inherited their knowledge from a common ancestor, a civilization that thrived in a pre-glacial Antarctica? The discovery of ancient maps, like the Orontes Phineus map of 1531, that accurately depict longitude, a feat supposedly not achieved until the 18th century, further fuels this speculation. These maps suggest that someone, long before our recorded history, possessed the ability to map the world with remarkable precision, even during the last ice age. Now let's jump forward to a site that's rewriting the timeline of human history. Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. Dated to around 9600 BCE, this megalithic complex predates Stonehenge and the Egyptian pyramids by thousands of years. Graham Hancock, in his book Magicians of the Gods, argues that Göbekli Tepe is evidence of a lost advanced civilization. He points to the intricate carvings, the astronomical alignments, and the sheer scale of the construction, suggesting a level of sophistication previously thought impossible for that era. Consider the astronomical alignments of ancient sites worldwide. The Great Pyramid of Giza is famously aligned with Orion's belt, while Stonehenge is aligned with the solstices and equinoxes. These alignments demonstrate a profound understanding of celestial mechanics, an understanding that, according to the conventional timeline, shouldn't have existed at that time. The theory posits that this lost civilization wasn't limited to monumental architecture. They may have possessed advanced navigational skills, allowing them to travel vast distances and disseminate their knowledge across continents. The similarities in architectural styles and astronomical knowledge found across ancient cultures, separated by vast oceans, could be explained by this shared origin. Furthermore, the precision and complexity of these megalithic structures suggest engineering skills far beyond what we traditionally attribute to prehistoric societies. Ruins of ancient cities, like those found in the Indus Valley, reveal sophisticated urban planning, advanced sanitation systems, and a level of societal organization that challenges our understanding of early human development. To understand the possibility of a once green Antarctica, we need to journey back to the Eocene epoch, roughly 56 to 34 million years ago. During this time, Antarctica was in roughly the same position it is today, yet the global climate was significantly warmer. Fossil evidence from this period reveals lush rainforests, populated by diverse flora and fauna. The breakup of the supercontinent Pangaea, and later Gondwana, played a crucial role in shaping Antarctica's climate. As continents drifted apart, ocean currents shifted, eventually leading to the formation of the Antarctic Circumpolar Current. This current, as described by geologists, effectively isolated Antarctica, setting the stage for its eventual glaciation. The formation of the Drake Passage between Antarctica and South America further contributed to this isolation. Towards the end of the Eocene, or the beginning of the Oligocene, the Antarctic Circumpolar Current, the largest ocean current in the world, began to form. This current acted as a thermal barrier, preventing warmer waters from reaching the continent and contributing to its cooling. Fossil evidence from the Eocene paints a vivid picture of a vastly different Antarctica. Forests of beech, conifers, and ferns thrived in a warm, humid climate. These fossils, including those of ancient plants and pollen, provide tangible proof that Antarctica was once a green and vibrant land. Sea levels during the Eocene were significantly higher due to the lack of large ice caps. This resulted in different coastal configurations, with areas now above water submerged at that time. The warmer temperatures and higher sea levels fostered a rich and diverse marine ecosystem, distinct from the Antarctic marine life we see today. The Eocene epoch serves as a powerful reminder of the dynamic and ever-changing nature of our planet. It highlights the interconnectedness of geological, climatic, and biological processes, and provides a glimpse into a past where Antarctica, now a frozen desert, was a land of lush forests and abundant life. So, as we stand on the precipice of the unknown, gazing out at the icy expanse of Antarctica, let's remember that beneath that frozen surface may lie the remnants of a lost world, a civilization that predates our own, a civilization that could rewrite the very story of humanity. The truth, as they say, is out there, waiting to be unearthed.